Hi everyone, Lindsay here. I am filming a little tutorial, or a little sort of plan with me, I guess, because I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, but I decided to print out the free printables that we get every month. I printed out the August ones to use in my August planner, and I printed them out on vellum paper. And the reason I did that is because I really like the look of the vellum in the with the August stuff, and so I printed them all out with vellum. I wanted to talk about printing first of all. You can print if you're working in the personal size or also with the A5 size, you can print things back to back, and the crop marks like almost match up, so the millimeter that it's off, it doesn't really make much of a difference. You don't really you can't really tell if you were to print it double-sided. So on your printer, you would select those two sheets as your sheets to print, and then you would print double-sided and flip on the long edge for your settings, if you wanted to do that for these ones. And like I said, the crop marks are just slightly off. If you do that, they're not very far off, so it doesn't really much matter. I noticed, I didn't even notice once I cut them. Couldn't even tell. If you're wanting to cut them with your paper cutter, which seems to, oh, there it is. Seems to have gone missing. If you're wanting to cut them with your paper cutter, the best thing to do is to line them up to your guides, which are up here. I don't know if you can see that. Line them up to your guides, but also line up your cut line with the lines on the page so you can't see them, and then lift up your blade to where the cut lines are. Instead of cutting all the way from the bottom or from the top, you would want to lift your blade till about there, so the cut line itself is right there. So I'll leave my finger there, and as you can see, my blade is just above that, and then you would cut down until you're past the other cut line. I can't fit this all in one, I don't think. So you would cut, the cut lines go to about here, but you would cut further down, so that what happens is after you've cut all four sides, you end up with kind of a frame left over, and then that way the crop marks don't get cut off as you're cutting. So I hope that's clear as mud. I might do one sheet just so I can show you that by cutting along the crop marks. But really what I'm here today to discuss is using these sheets and ignoring the crop marks. So designing whatever you want with them. They don't have to be printed and cut with exactly what they tell us. The lines on the sides are so faint that you can do pretty much whatever you want with them. So if you want to use pages this way, for example, so this is the A5 printable page, but if you turn it sideways, you can use it in your personal planner because it is close to personal size. You can see it is a bit shorter, but you could cut right to the image edge and a little bit further on the bottom there, and you could fit it into your personal planner if you so chose to cut this way. So if the sunflower was kind of sideways, or however you wanted, if you just wanted a piece of graph paper, you could cut out that much of the graph paper. And like I said, you can do pretty much whatever you want. Some of the pages, they've even included extra things that are outside the crop marks. So, like these little cute things down here, these cute things up here, but you could leave that on the page and cut down and up further. So actually that's what I'm going to do with this one anyway, so I might as well just do that. I'm going to move my planner out of the way, but I will eventually put it in my planner. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along the, because this is the mini Dory page, but I want to use this page as a ruler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut along the one side of the crop marks. So there I've done the right side of the crop marks, and I think I'm going to cut along for now anyways the left side crop marks. But as you can see, I've gone way further than the crop marks are down here, and my cutter is way up here. So I've gone way further than the actual cut marks go. And because the words are here, I'm actually going to use the bottom of the image as my next cut line. And I don't want to cut these nice little designs, so I'm going to cut inside of that. And then I'm going to cut just inside the other side, because again, I don't want to cut the ladybugs. So now you can see that I've cut down here everything off, and I've left this connected, but I am going to cut off the Cocoa Daisy stuff. But I'm thinking that I want to go, I'm actually going to cut just below the Cocoa Daisy printable part, and again I don't want to cut the other stuff on here, so I'm just going to cut from one cut line to the other. And as you can see, I've left this whole, and I ignored the cut lines on this side. You can't even see them because we cut them off, right? And then up here, the cut line, you can just barely see it if you look close. I don't even think I could pick it up in the camera, to be quite honest. I have no idea. But I've left these guys on, and then I thought that I could put a sticker or something across the top of that. So let me just grab my stickers. And see if there's anything I want to put up there. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take this, A Summer State of Mind, and I'm going to put it across the top up here. Now I will be laminating this, so it's okay if the sticker, oops, I'm not sure why that's there. It's okay if the sticker goes above the vellum piece, but I just wanted to show you, because I'm not going to put this in right now because I'll laminate it when I'm not on camera, but I'll take some pictures and post them with this tutorial. But as you can see, this mini Dory page, that's how it started out, is now a bookmark that I can put in my personal size planner that sticks out in the top, and I can hole punch it down the side, or I can hole punch the laminate once I'm done laminating it, hole punch that, so that all I'm left with is this, and it fits perfectly in my personal Dory. So you can use these printables pretty much however you want. You don't have to follow the cut lines. You don't have to conform to the little boxes. So I'm going to push this off to the side right now, and move along to the next thing that I want to do. So I have created this cute little clear shaker, but you could also use these as shaker backgrounds as well. And I'm probably not going to make a shaker, but I'll give you the general gist of it anyways. So in this one I just use clear acetate, but you could use a piece of vellum, or you could use even a piece of cardstock as your backing to your shaker, and then still use the acetate piece to give it an extra layer in between the sequins and your front image. So that would be really cute. So that's another idea. I have this tutorial coming, but I don't think I have it, I won't have it ready for a while. So, but anyways, so I have all of those. You could also take, so this is an A5 planner sheet, and you could also take this sheet and cut it inside the crop marks to make something personal size. Excuse me. Yeah, you can also do that. You can take this one and cut it down. I'm going to move this sheet off too because I don't need that one anymore right now. So you could cut it, you could cut the words off, and then you could move the words up to the top if you wanted to, if you wanted them to stick out. And then you would cut this kind of skinny to use as a ruler as well. What else is there? So the printable, the personal size sheets, I would possibly use them just as they are, just as the personal pages. I probably would layer them with other things, maybe, especially in the vellum. But another idea with these sheets is to cut out, I don't think I'm going to use this one, to cut out just the flowers. So if you wanted to do, say, like a layered piece, you could ignore all of the cut lines altogether and don't even use your paper trimmer, and you could cut out all of these beautiful flowers. I'm probably going to end up going really fast here, but it doesn't take too long because these are kind of geometric shapes, so, and it doesn't have to be perfect for sure. All these petals, they remind me of Simon's ears. That's why when I was looking for Simon in my dory, I was like, Simon's all over the place. He's in all of these flowers. I hope I'm in camera there. So anyways, like I said, you can just cut out. You don't have to be precise. You could, or you could sit in front of the TV and cut out. Sometimes I do that if I have some like really finicky things to do. I'll sit in front of the TV and cut out what I want. But today, for this purpose, I just want to show you what I'm trying to accomplish here, and I'm not going to be absolutely perfect because this is, well, mostly because this is vellum, and when you layer vellum on top of vellum, sometimes the edges soften anyways. So I'm just really sort of triangular cutting around these petals. And I'll round these guys out a little bit more because they're a little bit more rounder. But yeah, so I didn't even use this page at all. I just took the flowers off of it. So that's another idea, is you can just use it as clip art and put them wherever you feel like. And again, you can see that the cut line is there, and I'm just going to trim like that. And because the cut line is so light, you can hardly tell where it is, even on this. So, okay, hi, sorry about that. My battery's died, so, yeah. I'm just going to tilt this just a little bit better here. There we go. So, anyways, as I cut this out, I was just going to show you. You could layer your flowers like that if you wanted to use this as like a tip-in or something like that. You could layer this on top, or you could use this as your shaker front. If you were to do one of these, use this as your shaker front, put this on a piece of acetate, and then slip your sequins in behind, so you would kind of see these, you would kind of see the sequins through it if you printed it on vellum. But if you didn't, you could still do a myriad of things. So you could layer, you could use this on a greeting card or on one of your other planner pages if you were finding that you were not needing all the room. Here, let me see. Go to one of these pages here. You could layer this in if you didn't need all the room on your planner. You could layer this in wherever you wanted, or you could put it on. If you did tip-ins, you could add it to your tip-in as kind of a tab piece. So like that. I don't know. It's really, the possibilities are just so endless, and it's great to have something to conform to, but at the same time it's great to think outside the box too. So, because I really like a lot of the flower pieces, but I may or may not necessarily use the rest of the page, right? Like I said, this page, I might be more likely to turn it sideways in my personal planner, or I would cut it so that I could use it as a whole piece of graph paper, you know, instead of having the flower on it even. Or you can do something like that. What else is there? So I used that sheet already, and so this is a standard dory size. So you could do the same thing with the standard dory that I told you about with the, oh, I think I used it. You could do the same thing with the standard dory as with the personal, and print them back to back. Again, the crop marks may or may not match up perfectly, but it's the smallest of like odd piece that it really doesn't even show. So okay, so then I wanted to get to this piece here. So then it comes with this piece here, and you can use these. Instead of using this as your ruler, you could use this as your ruler. You could also cut out the August and put it on top of here if you wanted to. Like I thought you could cut along the one side of the leaves, and then cut out this last leaf, and then I'm going to go all the way to there. Sorry, my husband's coming in and out of the door, so my studio door shakes. So I'm just going to trim along the August words. Around the corners a little bit. And I'm going to come inside here as well, just to kind of cut off a little bit of the vellum. Okay. So you could take this August piece, and instead of using the sticker, you could mount that on top before you laminated as well. So then when you laminated this piece, it would look like that, which maybe I like that better. So maybe we'll just peel this sticker off. If your stickers aren't coming off as well as you'd like them to, you can add a little bit of heat to them, and then they will peel right off if you haven't stuck it all the way down. And then I'm just going to stick this over there for a second. So I'll just show you again with this actually attached. Throw a little bit of adhesive on it, and then just stick it down to wherever you want. And actually I think I like it over here. Yeah. So when I laminate it, that would stick out like that. Cool. So when you can round your corners, you can do pretty much whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Be as creative as you want to be. I can round a couple of these. I'd have to peel this off just to round these other containers. Wow, can you tell I'm tired? This is kind of the end of my day here, so alright, so we'll just stick that back down where I wanted it. And you could be a little bit more finicky about the way you cut it. You can do pretty much whatever you want. So that's how it'll look when I laminate it, and that's really cute. You can add other stuff to it if you want. You could put lines on here if you wanted to, so that when you laminate it, you could write on it with a Sharpie marker, like a, I don't know, one running weekly list or something that you can change with a baby wipe or whatever, or an alcohol wipe, and change it every week. This could be like your weekly to-dos, or that's actually not a bad idea. You can layer your stuff too. Just trying to see if I'd like that there. That's cute. So I'm just cutting out one of these little images, and I'm not being too fussy cutting about it. So this is on the sheet that they recommend to print on cardstock, because you can cut all of these out along the cut lines if you wish to do tip-ins with, or journaling cards, I guess. But I think I'm going to use this on my ruler thing here. I just want to see how far that sticks out, because of course I have the personal wide, so if I was to put this here, I could technically have this sticking out like this, and then I would have kind of a side tab to the August, so when I lift it, once I laminated it, then I would have my tab sticking out further than my personal wide planner. So that's kind of cool. Actually, I kind of like that. And then I can put a running list of whatever I want to do for that week, or whatever I decide to do. So I'm just going to stick this down with some adhesive and just make sure that that's wide enough to go there. Yep. Okay, so now I've added that, so when I laminate it, I'm going to have a side tab with the August up top so that you could see it up here, instead of using my today bookmark. I would have my August bookmark in there, and so you can see that when I close it, you can still see the tab here, so you would be able to flip to whatever week it was, just like that. So that'll be cool. So again, I'll laminate it and then I'll take a picture of it. So you can do all kinds of stuff with these. You don't have to pay attention to the cut lines. You don't have to, like if you wanted, like this one for example, this one is actually 2 pieces. There's this I must have flowers always and always, and then today is going to be awesome. You could cut the whole thing and either fold it along the cut line and make yourself a double-sided like tip-in, so that when you have it down it would show this, and when you flip it up on the tipping it would show this, and then you could do it like that. So if you just folded it right along here, I think that would be cute. So you would have your I must have flowers, and then when you flipped it over it would say today is going to be awesome. So you could totally fold it instead of cutting it twice and then trying to stick it back together. You could cut the whole thing out and use it as one tip-in without folding, because these two sayings could be together. And then you could, like for me, I really like this sunflower vase, but I didn't really like the words on top of the bookmark, so I would probably cut it off, say about there, instead of following the cut lines for the bookmark. And also because this bookmark is a bit bigger so that you can use it for A5, it wouldn't necessarily fit in my personal planner. So there's always that idea as well. So I hope that helped. Again, it's great to think outside the box with these things, especially because they're free printables. So if you make a mistake, you could always reprint. If you decide you don't like it, you could always reprint. If you decide you wanted to make more of them, of whatever you made, you could always reprint. So I will laminate this and take some photos of it, and I'll insert it at the end of this video here. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.